Like and subscribe right now, or else this will be in your bed tonight. r/AskReddit by Planet Reddit. What can't you believe people actually buy or spend money on? Mortgage loan officer here. This isn't exactly what this question is going for, but expensive vehicles. I look at credit reports all day for clients trying to get pre-approved for a mortgage. This isn't regarding someone who makes a sufficient income to support it, but it is extremely common nowadays to see people who make 30-40k a year with car payments that are $600-700 a month. We see it a lot. It is definitely the most egregious debt I tend to see on people's credit reports nowadays, even over student loans, because the monthly payments are just so outrageous. I will never understand people make 30k 40k a year and buy cars that can break your budget for a whole year when you miss a week of work. How the hell do they afford anything like that? My car payment is $300 a month and I'm mid 30k. That and my mortgage leaves some room but certainly not enough to double that car payment. Edit. The mortgage is split with my wife who also makes mid 30k. Didn't realize my comment would be read as me doing it by myself. The car is mine alone though. She won't pay for my car. LOL. Typically a co-senior, which usually winds up being a spouse who takes better care of their finances and credit. Quick anecdote. Declined a loan for 2 borrowers. She was an RN. He was whatever. Both made about 40k each. His credit was trashed and they had 2 car loans. One in the 300s and one at 750. The 750 was just killing the deal. I tell her the situation and she's near tears talking about this ducking car she co-signed because her husband really wanted it. So long story short, we're going to roll with just her on the application and she's going to remove herself from the car loan and title and get me proof. So I get the proof of removal and see what this ducking albatross is around her neck. It was a low down payment. Shit interest rate 2012 Dodge Challenger. A ducking 750/mo 6-year-old Dodge Challenger was preventing this woman from owning the home of her dreams. We see this all the time. Nothing kills a deal on debt to income like a car loan. Here in the UAE people mostly Emiratis sell and buy license plates and phone numbers that have interesting combinations of numbers on them. Currently the license plate 130 is going for the equivalent of US $120,000 and the SIM card for $3,333,335 is worth $17,000. We expats think this is so crazy. Delaware is strangely big on expensive as hell plates too. Edit. Yep. $675,000. A lawyer in Texas bought a license plate that reads 12THMAN for $115,000 and donated the plate to a veteran. A KBTX.com link. I'm sure the veteran would have rather had the $115k. Just reading this thread to see if I'm being financially irresponsible. Nervously glances at Lego collection. Hobbies and collections are generally excused. Well, maybe it's my hobby to drink Voss water and I maintain a collection of their glass bottles. Some people seem to have taken that seriously. I was only trying to cash in on that meta comment karma. AOL memberships. My mom still does it. I can't convince her otherwise. Drives me crazy. I'm pretty sure there's an option in settings to just make it free. Like, there's literally a switch that says to cancel billing or something. I switched it off for my parents. Edit. Here's a link. Help.aol.com link. What's the benefit of paying? You still get to use the desktop app? AOL says you won't be able to call them for support if you don't pay for their service. Not worth the subscription price. The lottery. It's one thing to drop a couple of bucks on a ticket or two, if only to dream. But people that drop hundreds of dollars that they usually can't afford thinking they'll be a millionaire the next day baffles me. I used to deliver soft drinks to convenience stores and basically every store has a few people that spend all day playing scratch-offs. Literally all day every day until they run out of money. It's sad and infuriating at the same time. Intermittent reward is a hell of a drug. I worked at a gas station in a small town and some dude came in with scratch-offs that won him slightly over $800. The conversation went something like this. Me. I'm sorry sir, I can't give you that much cash. You're gonna have to take those down to Indianapolis or something. Him. Oh, I was just going to buy more tickets. Me. Oh okay, that could work, then I could probably give you most of the cash back. Him. No, I meant I'm going to buy as many tickets as possible with this money. The guy proceeded to make me hold up one of our 2 lines. Thank God my other co-worker was there, and lose every single penny because none of the tickets he got won him anything. Just $800 down the drain for him, and who knows how much he spent to get to that prize before that. Fancy water. There are so many different kinds of water, all claiming to be special in some way. No way I'm paying $8 for a bottle of water. The liquor store I work in just got in a non-alcoholic gin. That's 50 Australian dollars, 35 US dollars, for a bottle of water. Okay, just what kind of abomination is non-alcoholic gin? Juniper water. Phone wallpapers. Seriously, you can find billions online for free. I didn't even know this was much of a thing. Judging by the replies to this, congrats. You've been directly responsible for a bunch of people wanting to buy phone wallpapers now. I'm one of them. I spent like 99 cents on a fancy one that resembles the Star Trek alert screen and even has yellow and red alert based on phone status. Have used it for almost 6 years now. I think I got my money's worth. Paying for a still screen is silly though. Any product from Goop. Gwyneth Paltrow is just insane and possibly drinks blood. Mayo, those stickers for rebalancing the body's energy frequencies they claimed were made out of the same material used to line spacesuits. NASA called them out on their lie and they responded back like, okay, so it's not made of the same material, but it's today I learn it rebalances your body's energy frequencies. Rough, I remember that. After reading the article and laughing so hard I almost fainted. I saw a recommendation that said something along the lines of, yeah, you know how we said it was good to put these egg things up your vag? Well, we were wrong. It was the funniest thing I have ever read in my entire life. Edit. Here's a link to an article about the eggs. For the brave of heart. If you feel like it's been drained of energy, recharge it in the full moon just the way you would a crystal. How can a real person even say this? This sounds like a tip for a video game. Bottled water. In Scotland at least, we have some of the best quality water in the world coming out of all our taps for free. Duck Evian. Personally, I prefer Scottish water with some malted barley added and aged. Cake pops. They cost as much as a Betty Crocker cake mix box. They were invented as a way to reuse and sell scraps from trimming cakes. They're made from cake crumbs and frosting rolled into a ball and then covered in chocolate or whatever will make them look pretty. So people are buying scraps on a stick. Sounds like the hot dogs of the cake industry. MLM schemes. It's hard to believe that people will believe anything told to them. The worst is when you can someone out and call it a pyramid scheme and they respond that it isn't a pyramid scheme. It's multi-level marketing. That's the damn definition. They will sometimes also say it is not an illegal pyramid scheme, heavily stressing the illegal part. So you admit it is a pyramid scheme then. My wife had a friend who tried basically all of them. They have OTG at all. Her husband can't keep down a job and my wife would try to buy some shit every now and then because our kids were born 5 days apart and we feel bad for their guy. One day my wife was about to hand her a check when I asked if it was worth shaking down your friends to keep $15 of the $150 my wife was about to spend. She got upset and corrected me. Actually, I'll keep $22. Not bad for 10 minutes. Dot. It's the only sale you're making all month. I paid my mortgage. What are you planning to do with that whole $22? Phone ringtones. Admittedly, not anymore. I once spent 99 cents so that my chocolate phone would yell out "You have message" in a Borat voice. Well worth it. Borat is one of those things that to me feels way more recent than it is. You mean 2006 isn't the year before yesteryear? I read the other day that low-income households in the US spend an average of $412 a year on lottery tickets. That was really hard to believe. Those numbers are probably skewed because of gambling addicts. Saw some guy yesterday spend $300+ on the Mega Million. Mind blowing. New Christmas decorations every year. We've had ours since I was a kid. We buy some to add to it, but it's really the same every year. But as contrast, I had a friend in school who bought brand new decorations every year in a new color scheme and simply discarded the last year's, considering it's only up for a few weeks. I couldn't believe how wasteful. An entire new batch of decorations? I mean, we replace something every year because lights are faded, burnt out, or ornaments are lost, smashed. But the whole shebang? I feel like there can't possibly be a large number of people doing this. Most people just store decorations and use them again every year. Your friend was insane. Edit. I stand corrected. Never underestimate rich people. There is absolutely a large number of people doing this. Source. Used to work retail graveyard shift. Seasonal items could not be kept stocked fast enough. Join our community Discord. Link in description. Tabloids. It's a rag full of lies and half-truths about people you don't know. You will never be a part of these people's lives and nothing they say or do will affect you. I've never opened one myself, but there is always something stupid on the covers while waiting in line at the grocery store. I imagine they are also full of ads for generic products. Not sure if US tabloids are the same as UK ones, but I occasionally look through the Daily Mail to see what shit they are pushing. It seems like every headline has to tell you how to feel about whatever the article is about. Outrage at, sadness over, panic as. I don't believe the people reading them regularly are capable of deciding how to feel about something without being told. Every day I shop. John Bennett's murderer found. His motive disclosed. Or something about Hillary Clinton. Shitty car mods. The guys that have like a rusted out Dodge Neon with $3,000 in cosmetic modifications that make it look like an 8-year-old tried to design their first race car. Just use that money to get a new car, man. I don't think that wing is helping too much on your front wheel drive car that barely breaks 60 miles per hour. I hear that each Sparko sticker gives you +5 bhp. Mayo. They make stickers that literally say +5 HP that you can put on your car. I want to actually mod mine and add the stickers that coincide with each mod. New air intake. +10 HP on the back window. Oh god. This reminds me of my first car. I was 16 and bought a shitty Dodge Neon that was all tricked out. My dad told me if a car looks and sounds like that it was probably treated like shit and would be a waste of money. He let me make my own decision and 1 year later it was dead and I learned a valuable lesson. As a teenager I wanted a funny ringtone, so I spent some money for Blueberry Yum Yum. It was not a ringtone. It was a ringback. I just figured I didn't know how to set it up and left it. Anytime a potential employer or my grandma called me, Ludacris would serenade them. Didn't find out for over a year. Edit. To make matters worse, it was not 5.99 one time. It was 5.99 monthly. I was probably 11 or 12 when I did this. Close to my 14th birthday I found out. It was from my grandma asking what Blueberry Yum Yum was. My friend still has a ringback to this day. It's an awful, horrendous quality rendition of some classical violin piece. Please enjoy this Verizon ringback while your party is reached. Blasts your eardrums. Pretty sure that's a default song. So they have the service but didn't even set up a song to be played. I forgot ringbacks were a thing. I worked with a girl who drank 3 Dunkin' Donuts iced coffees a day, minimum. She'd walk in with one, get another at lunch, and get one on her way home. She also smoked like a chimney. We calculated it to be like $400 a month on coffee and another $100 a month on cigarettes. Edit. I don't smoke and googled that a pack of Marlboro in MA was like $5 a pack and figured around a pack a day. I obviously underestimated what this woman spent on her vices. I used to get a caramel latte every day on my way into work. It became such a habit that the guy behind the counter always had my coffee ready for me as I walked in the door. Then I realized I was only drinking half of it because it would go cold pretty quickly and it was costing me £2.99 every morning. £15 per week on something that I only enjoyed half of. I cut that habit pretty quickly when I realized how much I was wasting. I'm assuming that one day that dude made a coffee for you and was sad because nobody ever came for it. Reminds me of my friend who got the same drink at the same coffee shop in the lobby of his office building every morning for a couple of months. Then he got tired of that drink and decided he wanted something different. But by the time he got to the register they already had his usual waiting. And for months he was too embarrassed to tell them he wanted something else. So he kept drinking a beverage he'd grown to hate until one day he decided to find a new coffee shop altogether. Truck testicles. How else will people know that my truck is both manly, unashamed, And humorous, I slap a dildo on as a hood ornament for full effect. You got quite a unicorn over there. With a ball sack in the back and a dildo on the hood, your truck is essentially a 15-foot taint. Edit. Having been reminded that a taint is between anus and balls. Don't know how I forgot that. I guess it's more like your truck is a 15-foot long front of scrotum or something. Doesn't quite have the same ring to it. Edit 2. My first ever gold is for a comment regarding the anatomy and nomenclature of the male taint. Toilet humor never dies. Thanks. Overdraft fee with the bank. I know this isn't actually buying something, but if I could get back the money I gave my bank for this through my 20s, I'd probably buy a house with it. Turn it off and let your card get declined. I swear sometimes I'd buy a $1 pack of gum and $35 would go to the bank. Got so bad I would be negative $600 to the bank when payday came. Pay them back and maybe have $200 left, so I'd have to go back to the negatives every time. Lived like that for years. Terrible. Edit. Changed overdraft protection to overdraft fee. And the bank employees have gotten so good about selling those. Went to go change banks a couple years ago and the lady was trying to sell me on it by pointing out the embarrassing scenario if my card were declined while I'm in line buying groceries and I have to put everything back. I don't know about anybody else, but I check my account like 4 times a week at least, just making sure bills went through and whatnot. There's no way in hell I wouldn't know that I don't have money. Cable modem rental. And I'm guilty of it too. I rented a modem from the cable company for 5 years. Then my wife and I moved to an area with a different ISP. Got a modem from them and rented that one for almost 6 years. $9 a month I spent on that stupid modem. The cable company tells you that if something happens to the modem they'll replace it if you're renting theirs. I've never had a cable modem fail, ever. It was laziness on my part. Finally came to my senses this past spring. Bought a really nice Netgear modem for $60. It's literally as easy as hooking up and then calling the cable company and giving them the MAC address and a couple other bits of info. I think a lot of people are unjustly intimidated about doing this, but it's so worth it. I know a dude who spent hundreds on some stupid iPhone game. I find the opposite true of myself, and it's weird. I'll spend $60 on a PS4 or Switch game and not even think about it, but there is no way I'm spending $2 for a game on my phone. My brother develops apps and pointed out to me once how easily most people will spend a couple bucks on a soda or pack of gum but can't bring themselves to buy apps that they'll have until they change phone brands for like a buck. Since then I've been a bit more willing to throw $1 or $2 to a developer whose work I enjoy or think I could use, and I definitely don't regret it. Except buying iPhone GTA. That was dumb. When I realized this in myself, I started buying the pro and ad-free versions of apps and games that I used frequently or I believed increased my quality of life for phone tablet usage. It really helps that I'm on Android and have Google Opinion rewards, so it isn't even money coming out of my pocket most of the time. Premium Snapchats. Support your local pornographers. People like when boobs are specifically directed at them though, and the 100s of other people who pay as well. What's even more baffling is when porn stars try to pull this shit. I can pay $350 for Riley Reid's premium Snapchat, or I can go on Pornhub and watch every video she's ever been in for free. Tough decision. I'll probably get buried, but I work at a movie theater and I've seen people lay down $100 plus for concessions. WTF. Pretty easy to do if you are a family of 4. Dog weddings. I saw an article a few months back about a gay couple who had a lavish wedding for their dogs with guests etc., which cost more than $10,000. I know that people are entitled to spend the money they make in whatever way they choose, but what they did is wasteful, nonsensical, for the dogs at least, and completely frivolous. I understand spending $50 on that, but $10,000 is more expensive than a lot of humans' weddings. My good friend has a collection of 30 different firearms, World War II stuff, modern stuff, 100-year-old stuff, etc. He's spent IDK how many thousands on ammunition, maybe 10 times that on the guns themselves. Nicest thing in his possession is the giant ass safe he keeps all of it in. I gave him shit one day. Trey, how many of those can you shoot at once? and he immediately asked me how many guitars you got now, and it shut me right the duck up. I have over a dozen guitars, 3 expensive amplifiers. I don't even know how many pedals anymore. I could easily go what for what in dollars spent with him on shit we didn't need. Even worse is that if shit does end up going wacky, I'm not going to be able to riff someone out of trying to kill me. That's your thing. This is mine. Even worse is that if shit does end up going wacky, I'm not going to be able to riff someone out of trying to kill me. Not alone, but you'll be a valuable addition to his group. Every party needs a bard. And if the bard is bad enough, the enemies may just take care of themselves. This is why I don't really get people that shame other hobbies. Someone was telling me that the amount of movies I watch was a waste of time. But if you're spending your limited time on Earth doing something you like, in my mind that is a great use of time. Especially since everyone has something like that. One of my friends bought the winner license. My friend did that after a couple of years at his big job where he finally made enough money to support himself and his now wife. It was a weird kind of flex. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for 3 videos a day.